I know it hurts right now, but listen, you're not alone. Every tear you cried, he saw it. Every whisper in the dark, he heard you. You've been hiding in the silence, holding pain you can't explain. Every night feels like a battle, every prayer feels the same. You've been calling out in darkness, but the sky feels closed and still. And you wonder if he's listening, or if he ever will. You're exhausted from the waiting, from believing through the pain. Feels like hope is slowly fading, like your faith is slipping away. But there's a voice inside the silence, even when you cannot see. He's been closer than you're breathing, right there in your need. Every tear you cried at midnight, every word you couldn't say, he collected every heartbeat. He was with you all the way. Stop crying, God already heard you. Every whisper, every broken prayer, you're not lost, he's right there beside you. Even when it feels like no one cares, stop crying. Heaven's already moving. What you can see, he's working through. Hold on just a little longer. Your miracle is coming to you. Yeah. You've been walking through the shadows, trying hard to keep the light, but the weight upon your shoulders makes it hard to even fight. You keep asking for a reason why the storm won't pass you by, why the answers feel so distant, why you're left alone to cry. But what if in the waiting there's a purpose you can't see? What if every tear you're shedding is planting your victory? And the pain you feel is shaping something stronger deep inside. Even broken hearts can worship, even wounded souls can rise. Every tear you cried at midnight, every word you couldn't say, he collected every heartbeat. He was with you all the way. Stop crying, God already heard you. Every whisper, every broken prayer, you're not lost, he's right there beside you. Even when it feels like no one cares, stop crying. Heaven's already moving. What you can't see, he's working through. Hold on just a little longer. Your miracle is coming to you. He heard you at 3 a.m. when your faith was wearing thin, when your knees hit the floor and you couldn't cry anymore. He saw every hidden scar, every question in your heart, and the silence you feared was him drawing you near. So don't give up now, don't let go somehow. This is not the end, he's still writing your story. Even when you feel forgotten, you are chosen. Even when your world is falling, he is holding. Stop Dry your eyes. Lift your head. Your miracle is closer than you think. It was late. I couldn't sleep. My heart was breaking in the silence. I whispered one last prayer, and that was the night God answered me. It was quiet in my room, but my mind was screaming loud. Every thought was full of questions. Every fear was closing in around. I had tried to stay so strong, tried to hide the pain inside, but the weight became too heavy, and I finally broke that night. So I fell down on my knees with nothing left to say, just tears falling like a river as my strength just slipped away. I said, God, if you are listening, I don't know what else to do. In the middle of my weakness, that's when I reached for you. There were no perfect words, no faith left to pretend, just a heart completely shattered, needing you to step in. That was the night God answered me, right in my deepest agony. When I had nothing left to give, that's when He spoke life into me. That was the night my chains broke free. In the middle of my desperate plea, I didn't see it instantly, but something changed inside of me. That was the night God answered me. There was no loud thunder, no fire in the sky, but a peace I can't explain started rising deep inside, like a whisper in my soul, gently calling out my name, telling me I wasn't forgotten, that my prayers were not in vain. Every tear I cried before now felt different on my face, like they carried something sacred, like they were filled with grace. And the darkness that surrounded me didn't feel as strong as then. Something shifted in that moment, like a brand new story began. Even in the silence, even in the wait, He was moving in the unseen, working through my pain. That was the night God answered me, right in my deepest agony. When I had nothing left to give, that's when He spoke life into me. That was the night my chains broke free. In the middle of my desperate plea, I didn't see it instantly, but something changed inside of me. That was the night God answered me. At 3 a.m. when hope was gone, He was there all along. Every cry I tried to hide, He was standing by my side. When I thought I couldn't stand, He was holding both my hands. And the silence I feared the most was where I felt Him close. He didn't leave, He didn't run, He stayed with me So if you're crying in the dark tonight, if your heart feels barely alive, don't give up. Don't you leave, because your night might be the night God answers you. God answers you. I didn't see it coming. I was just on my knees, broken, whispering. And somehow, everything changed. It happened while I was praying. I was losing all my strength, didn't think that I'd get through. Every door was closing on me, nothing left for me to do. So I fell down in the silence, with my face down to the ground. No more words, just tears were speaking as my heart poured out the sound. I said, God, I feel so empty, I don't know where to begin. And the echo of my weakness was the only voice within. But in the middle of my breaking, something started shifting slow, like a whisper through the darkness, saying, you're not alone. In the quiet, in the waiting, when I thought you wouldn't move, heaven started rearranging what I couldn't even prove. It happened while I was praying, when I had nothing left to say. In the middle of my weakness, that's when you made a way. It happened while I was crying, with my heart down on the floor. Every tear became a doorway to something greater than before. I didn't see it coming, but now I know it's true. It happened while I was praying, and you were moving through. I didn't hear the thunder, didn't see a flashing light, but something deep inside me started coming back to life. Chains I didn't know I carried started falling one by one, and the weight I've been holding felt lighter when you came. Even though my situation didn't change right away, there was peace I couldn't explain that refused to fade away. And I realized in that moment you were working all along. Even when I felt forgotten, you were there making me strong. In the silence, in surrender, when I finally let it go, that's when heaven touched my story in a way I didn't know. It happened while I was praying, when I had nothing left to say. In the middle of my weakness, that's when you made a way. It happened while I was crying, with my heart down on the floor. Every tear became a doorway to something greater than before. I didn't see it coming, but now I know it's true. It happened while I was praying, and you were moving through. At 3 a.m. when no one heard me, you were listening still. When my faith was barely breathing, you were doing your will. I thought heaven was so silent, but you were speaking deep, in the language of my breaking, in the tears I couldn't keep. And Not in the noise, not in the crowd, but in the quiet. That's where you were. It happened while I was praying, when I surrendered everything. In the middle of my ashes, you began to let hope sing. It happened while I was crying, when I thought it was the end. You were building something greater right there in the pain I felt. I didn't see it coming, but now I clearly see. It happened while I was praying, and you were healing me. So if you're on your knees tonight, don't give up, because what you don't see is already happening. I was about to give up. Nothing was changing, nothing made shifts. And then, without warning, God moved. I was standing in the silence, with a heart too tired to fight. Every prayer felt unanswered, every day just felt like night. I kept holding on to promises, even when they felt so far, like a whisper in the distance, like a fading, dying star. I was losing all my hope, didn't think I had much left. Every breath felt like a question, every step was so oppressed. And the weight upon my shoulders tried to pull me to the ground, till I fell down in surrender, without making any sound. When I thought it was over, when I couldn't see the way, He was working in the shadows, getting ready for the day. Suddenly, God moved, right in the moment I broke into. When I thought I was too far gone, that's when His power came through. Suddenly, chains fell down, what was lost is finally found. In a second, everything changed, when His grace came rushing down. I didn't see it coming, but now I know the truth. Suddenly, God moved. There were nights I cried in secret, asking, where are you right now? Every doubt became so heavy, every question screamed out loud. I kept waiting for a sign, for a miracle to appear, but instead there was just silence, feeding all my hidden fear. Still I chose to keep believing, even when it felt insane, holding faith with trembling hands through the middle of the pain. And though nothing seemed to happen, something deeper was at work, in the unseen, in the waiting, in the places that still hurt. Every tear was like a seed, falling softly to the ground. And I didn't know my breaking was where healing would be found. Suddenly, God moved, right in the moment I broke into. When I thought I was too far gone, that's when His power came through. Suddenly, chains fell down, what was lost is finally found. In was there in every second, even when I felt alone. And the miracle I prayed for was already being grown. Not always slowly, not always clear, but right on time. He was here. Suddenly, God moved. When I had no strength to stand, He lifted me from the ashes with His healing in His hand. Suddenly, I could breathe where there once was only grief. In a moment full of mercy, He restored my faith in me. I didn't see it coming, but now I know the truth. Suddenly, God moved. So if you're still waiting, still holding on, don't lose your faith, because suddenly God moved. God moved.